Hey up lads and lasses, Danfire here, back again after a short break over Christmas. I hope you've all had a nice Christmas or whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, if you even celebrate this time of year. But anyway, yeah, so we've got some more content for GR2 coming up over the course of however long GR2 is still around. I'll still be trying to cover it. Anyway, so one of my Legion members, Dusty, has been in contact with the devs. They are trying to work on getting their Facebook page back up, but that was like a week ago, I think now, maybe a bit longer, so not a clue on an ETA by then. I've personally been in contact with them as well. I've emailed them asking a few questions, stuff like that, and I got the typical response that they sometimes give, which is, we'll forward it to the devs and let them know. So I have no idea what's really going on with that. If you do need to get in contact with them, if you have any issues, etc., etc., you can use this email address here, galaxy2.cs@tbic-inc.com. They do reply from here. I can confirm that I've also had replies like I just mentioned. Anyway, what we're going to look at today quickly is the Centurion. Previously on my tier list, it ranks quite low because it's relatively useless, but I've been playing around with it and testing it. This ship is not finished, not even close, so I run Lieutenant Colonel Ethan on here, and that's just due to the fact that I don't really have anyone better to put on here at the moment. If he dies, he's buffing everyone. That kind of helps a little bit versus all the other captains I've got on this account. But yeah, so this is my build. It is just a pure support build, and this is to sort of contrast the idea of a support cruiser. I've done a video previously where I had a support cruiser and I used the Tornado, and I like the Tornado because it could fit an extra 2 T3 guns as well as the global command CN, so that's just quite nice. It's more DPS out. But on this ship, we go into plugins, and as you can see, I've ignored all the other ones. On the warship features, we have Commander. Allies buff duration increased by 65%, up to 70% at its max level. That means that the likes of the global command CN, with a 37-second cooldown, provides an over a minute cooldown, basically. I think it's 1 minute 1, or yeah, it's about 1 minute 1 second, something like that. I need to calculate that, which is fantastic. This is only the purple at +3, so it's giving me 17.3% resistances to everything, as well as a nice little boost to crit rate. Again, this thing maxed out, I think it's about 40% crit rate, and you're getting about 35% on the resistances. It's somewhere around there, I think, or 30% on the resistances. So it's just a nice buff ship. I'm ignoring the missile booster subsystem and the torpedo augmentation subsystem on here. You could potentially run an antimatter torp on the bottom subsystem, because these only go to 3 slots anyway at T2, and have this unlocked and get some extra damage out from the occasional antimatter torp going off. But because of the shape, as you can see, I can't really fit much, and projectiles are the best weapon in the game. They just have the most damage. Even these Gorse aren't technically the best. You probably want blue snaking cannons or purple snaking cannons if you've got them, so I'd run those instead. I run an energy NT field on here. This is literally due to the fact that I do have an Immortal in the fleet, which has got some XNTs, so that's going to be keeping the energy down. As you can see, blue snaking cannons all over this because it's more DPS regardless of whatever I friggin' roll in any of these, so that's what I'll be doing. It's even, you know, pointless having this. I'll probably try and get the transition up maybe to, I think they go to 3 slots. I've never actually tried to get one up to 3 slots because I don't have 3 slots on most ships to fit them. So I'll be upgrading that maybe to take the 3 slots at the top, and it can jump further then, however useful that may be. It could be in some situations. But yeah, so Centurion. Turns out not a bad little cruiser for buffing your other ships. That's all I sort of recommend it for. I have heard of people using these in triple monster setups. I'm running double monster setup on this account, and it does really make a lot of difference having that extra time. We did a level 4 invasion earlier this evening. I'm recording straight after the invasion on for this one, and so I used the Centurion as a bait ship. So I ran it off, left my guys attacking, and I did about 3 million damage. But the red dragon didn't spawn because the frigates were still alive, etc, etc, because it baited out the frigates. And if you kill the frigates, that's when the red dragon spawns on level 4 and 5. In the other circumstance, I just charged in. I just went balls to the walls, gonna kill it. This came with me, and the extra time on the buff of the command CN was enough that the bait ship became useless. I could go balls to the walls and try and just straight up kill it, had the red dragon spawn in about 20 seconds or 10 seconds or something crazy, and this kept all my ships alive long enough for them to do 3 million damage. So almost in theory, this is kind of like worth one buff of this, or keeping this buff around, worth 30 seconds of the time, because I dealt the same amount of damage, but all my ships died eventually, doing 3 million damage, versus the bait tactic, where this tactical wasn't around. It was on the ship, but you know, it's all the way off in the corner. All my other ships are miles away from it, so they weren't getting buffed, and they lived the entire duration instead, and they dealt the same amount of damage. So yeah, for certain, if you want to try and run a support cruiser, and you do have a cruiser slot in most setups, triple battleship cruiser or carrier double battleship cruiser, so yeah, it's definitely a potential. Anyway guys, that's my build for the Centurion. A little bit of info from the devs, nothing really solid there, but I hope it helps you guys out, and hope you've had a great holiday, and New Year's is on its way as well, so that's going to be a bit of fun. Might be streaming a little bit on New Year's, not too sure on that yet. But anyway guys, have a good one, and I'll catch you guys next time.